Hey guys and girls, alright, a little update on what's going on today. We actually, I actually went ahead and cleaned the floors up a little bit. I washed them out. They'll be dirty in about 10 minutes. But we've got this engine out. Got both engines ready to change the parts over. You can see the difference in the cleanliness of the two engines. There's the new one. Once we get everything changed over, we will get all the parts changed over, and I've still got to have the guy tune the computer. I'm going from a rev-up car to a non-rev up engine, and I got to have the guy program that computer. So we got to change the harness over from the rev-up to the non-rev-up motor. And I think what I'm going to go ahead and do is change the suspension underneath the car and everything too. So I think that's definitely going to be where we're at with it. I'm having issues with my BMW too. The battery, I guess it's gave out on this thing, and I just got this car. So yeah, so I got to deal with the battery on that. I'm trying to knock this out this weekend so we can get started on this rental. But at the same time, I'm ready to have my drift car ready to roll. So that's what we're working on. You can see the mess. I'll get you. All right, you actually got a bird's eye view of the shop here. The mess I've got. Yeah, this side is just horrible, trash. The water hose won't reach that far, and I hadn't dug all that stuff out, but I've got the Canyon over there, the white G35, the G35 that goes away, and so we're gonna use that for parts. We're gonna get all we can of it, and then we're gonna get that jewel ready, start doing the thing with that one. Get ready to do some drifting. But yeah, it's been a rainy day out all day. So that's where we're at. We got to get the parts changed over, like the clutch and flywheel. I gotta figure out what I'm gonna do there. I don't know if I'm gonna replace the clutch, upgrade the flywheel. I don't know what I'm gonna do right there on that setup, but I'll figure out something. Then I've got to buy the parts for the Subaru. So once we got the G35 squared away, the heads for the Subaru will be done, and we'll get all that wrapped up. And yeah, we'll be able to go from there and do what we got. More out today, so I've been going. All right, so I'm gonna continue on and change the parts over on this G35 over to the new motor, and try to get that ready to start setting in possibly tomorrow. Tomorrow maybe. I still got to pressure wash the engine bay, not pressure wash. Get wash, pressure wash. Either way. All right, so I got the engine harnesses changed over, and so tomorrow I should be able to come in, possibly wash this engine bay out. I may go ahead and get some degreaser and stuff and set the engine off to the side, and go ahead and get some engine degreaser and spray it, wash the engine off, wash the engine bay out, and go from there. But yeah, I think I'm about ready to change it out. I'm gonna wait till I put the motor in to pull because it was off and automatic. I'm gonna wait and pull the automatic flywheel off, and then put my manual stuff on once I get it in the car. That way I think it'd be easier to get to it, to hold everything back with a crank pulley bolt and spin everything off then, which I guess I could take my impact and knock it loose while I got it right here. But I may do that tomorrow, pressure wash everything, or at least wash it down. I may not pressure wash it, but that's about where I'm at. I'm about ready to get ready to start setting this in. I do have to drop the cross member and swap them out. Once I swap the cross members, go through the brakes and stuff, figure out what I want to, change over and all that. And then we'll go from there and see 100% what I want to do with the air conditioning and power steering. I may not run air conditioner, any of that stuff. Definitely power steering, we'll run that. So, all right, so that's it for today. Email us if you want to touch base with us on maybe getting some of the stuff that we have for sale. Maybe some of the used parts that you see on our videos. Maybe some of the, if you get on Instagram or Facebook, we're Chesser Motorsports there. And if you see some of the projects we're working on and you see what we end up having left over that we're not using, you can give us a shout, and we do sell this stuff and we ship it and everything. So if you want to give us a shout on any of the parts, anything you see that we have or whatever we're selling, like we're selling the Canyon, the GMC Canyon, the 5.3 LS swap truck, we're going to sell it. We're going to sell the automatic transmission out of the G35. We'll have some miscellaneous stuff, the harness out of the automatic G35, and just some random stuff that we'll actually have for sale. So if you want to get with us on any of that, feel free, message us. I'm an easygoing guy. If you just want to shoot the breeze or introduce yourself, we're car guys, man. We're not these hateful people. It's gonna, if you ask questions, we're not gonna act like you're stupid. And I don't know everything. I know a lot about a little bit, or a little bit about a lot, or something. Either way, I know some stuff, but then there's a whole bunch I don't know, and I try not to, put on a show for something I do or don't know. I just work on what I enjoy working on, try to share information. But yeah, if you just want to chat it up, hit us up. All right, so diving further into this white G35, I have managed to figure out that the cross member's been up worse than I thought. It got the actual sway bar and everything. So I decided to pull it all out. I have an entire car, all the steering. I went ahead and pulled all the power steering assist, everything out. I'm just gonna put all the other one out of the other car into it and call it a day, I think. And the cross member was bent up so bad I couldn't get the lower control arms out of it, so I had to take them off to even get the cross member off. So yeah, it's just worn completely out. It's all the tie rod ends are bad, inners and outers. I had to replace all that. The end links were broke on this one, so I had to replace the end links. All the bushings were bad in that. Everything was pretty much bad. So I just opted to go ahead and just replace it all with the G35 that I bought. Have everything. I'm hoping, I think automatic, all that stuff's the same. I've got at least this one torn down. I'll probably wash it out a little bit before I start sitting parts, because this one's not near as dirty. So if I can get this one washed out and washed down a little bit and get some of this grease and filth off of it, I think it'll be a little easier once I start putting everything in. I won't have as big a mess, because this thing's pretty nasty. I may not get to set the motor in today. That's okay. I would rather go ahead and change all this over. There was no way I was leaving all that. And dropping the lower control arms and stuff, I didn't have no choice. And the bottom ball joints are bad on both sides. And I'm putting an 80,000 mile car with everything good on it. Why wouldn't I just go ahead and change it? And I'm gonna start pressure washing. I doubt I'll pressure wash. I may just use my water hose and clean this off and clean up the bay a little bit, and then I'll go ahead and start breaking the other car, the cleaner car, down once I get this mess cleaned up a little bit. All right, so I got the degreaser out and I got started cleaning, and I couldn't make myself stop, and so it looks a lot better than what it did. Yeah, and I generally don't wash my cars inside the bays or anything like that. It's just that I had it so far apart, don't have any help here. I've got all the steering out, half the cross member. I've got all that stuff out, and it's just, the floors were already wet where I'd washed them yesterday. They still hadn't dried. And so I went ahead and washed the engine off and the car itself. So I'll go ahead and get it up a little bit, go ahead and try to clean under it just a little bit. Try to get some of that filth out from under the car, so that way while I'm working on it, I'm not just getting nastier and nastier. And then I'll start on the other car, try to start getting some of the parts off of it to move to this car, which I should have already done. Well, I don't know, this thing's clean now, and that was driving me crazy. Plus it'll be a lot cleaner to work on it too. So, and I debated adding a few things. I don't know that I really will. And the more I add, the longer it takes me to get drift car parts and get it drifting. And I got stuff I want to do to my BMW. I got a rental house to redo. So I debated on doing like the solid bushings, solid mounts and stuff for that engine and all that. So, but I think I'll wait. I can always drop the cross member and stuff and add that stuff back in. All right, guys, we're coming up on the end of the day. And the donor car, and when I say donor car, when I call it a donor car, it's a donor car. Look at we have absolutely taken everything out from this thing. It's an automatic harness, so we don't need it. But we will use the seats. The seats are actually really good. So all the suspension has been put into this one. All the cross member, all the sway bars, the end links, lower control arms, the power steering rack, all the power steering pieces, all of that. All the brakes, upper control arms, every bit of that came out of that car. The engine, I'm probably gonna go ahead, I think I'm gonna opt to do a rear seal on it. I think it would be best to just go ahead and bite the bullet and do a rear seal while I got it right here. It makes sense. It looked like it might have had a little bit of seepage at one time. So we're gonna go ahead and do that. And the reason I replaced everything is because you can see down and everything, they're just, the bushings are gone. There's no resistance to all the parts. Everything's just bad. It's just worn out. The core support for this one, we'll use off of that, the gray one. We probably won't do a front bumper. I'll probably just do like a bash bar or something. Which I'll still have to get when I don't have one. We were gonna do all the rear suspension just the same, but what I think I'll do is I'll just hang on to that rear subframe, because the rear subframe, I actually put my billet inserts in it. So now that I've put my billet inserts in it, I don't want to take it out and have to take all that stuff out. We got parts laying everywhere. I'm gonna have a rental that I'm gonna work on here pretty soon. So I'm trying to get everything I can knocked out. If you've seen the video at this point, you know what's going on with the rental. But you know, I work the rentals like a business, so like a job. Monday through Friday, if I'm doing repairs on a rental, I can take the weekend off. I can take off a day here, a day there to work on my car. Like I had to get a battery on my BMW. What I may do too, while I'm thinking of it, I may end up with a different set of wheels. These are the Nitto NT555s that's on the drift car. Well, Ronnie actually came and helped me. My buddy Ronnie, you know Ronnie, there's twins, Art and Ronnie. But Ronnie came and helped me. He's helped me a couple times here lately. It's been a while since he's been off. He's been working a bunch. But he's helped me. He helped me a lot on this, a ton on this. And he helped me the other day on disassembling the other car. And so he's wanting these wheels. So I may end up making a deal with him and get a different set of wheels or something. I'm not really into these wheels. I mean, they're okay, but it's not really what I'm feeling. So I'll possibly start picking out a different set of wheels, and we'll go from there on what I'm gonna actually do. So I don't know. I'll come up with something. But closer all the time, getting ready to get on the engine itself, finishing up a few things with the engine. I'm probably gonna have to get a clutch kit, but I can at least set the motor. I'll probably get mounts. I'm still debating on doing the solid mounts, or do I do the actual, just a mount replacement? Because these mounts, they go bad. The 350Zs and G35s I've dealt with so far, the mounts are horrible. They're busted. Like, I'll actually show you. Don't mind the mess, but these mounts, that's the bottom and it goes down. And that was, when we pulled the engine, these were just still laying there. So these were already, and that's the motor that was in the car. That was in this car. So even though it's an 80,000 mile motor, I would be willing to bet that's still factory mounts. And so if it's the factory mounts, now's the best time to change them, because on the G35s and 350s, the way these set is you literally have the manifold is right above the mount. So if you're not taking the exhaust manifold off, you can't get to that bolt on the mount. You literally have to drop that bolt right there on the bottom. This is the mount. There's the top bolt, there's the bottom bolt. So on the car, the bottom bolt goes down through the hole on this cross member, so you have to go from underneath right there to get that, because you can't go from down on top, because you can't get to that bolt. You can't get past that to get to that bolt from the top. So you end up having to go from the bottom. So what you have to do, you have to drop the control arm, unhook your power steering rack, drop this entire cross member, unbolt it from the 4 places here. There's 4 corners. Unbolt those, drop the lower control arms, drop, and then you go up in here and get the bottom bolt, and then you have to go up on top. After you drop this completely out, you have to like fight up here somewhere to try to get that top bolt. And that's the way you end up taking these out from underneath, because if you don't, you literally have to pull both headers off, which will suck. So I actually took the heat shields off of these. They were already kind of jacked up anyway, but I don't know if it's what was getting them out or if it's just, I don't know. It's probably what it was, but I did go ahead and pull them off. I don't know that it'll make any difference as far as heat under the hood of the car. If it does, so be it. I debated on doing maybe some headers or manifolds or something, but from what I'm researching, it doesn't really help on these. It's not a waste of money per se, but it doesn't do a lot really either. So there is stuff all over my face, by the way. All right, either way, it don't matter. I've been working all day. So what I'll do is, tomorrow's my birthday. I'll probably take off tomorrow. I ain't made up my mind yet. I may or may not. And if we do, it is what it is. If not, we'll be back doing it again tomorrow. And I'll know more about, I'm gonna research tonight a little bit about doing the solid mounts versus the factory mounts, or, you know, what clutch I need to, I think there's a delete for this funky clutch deal on these flywheels. This is first for me. This is the manual flywheel. It looks burned up because these things, for some reason, it's wore crazy on this flywheel, or the clutch rather. And I think where it's discolored from heat. The clutch and everything looks good. It's just that I'm afraid it's not gonna do well. I think it's gonna have problems. Doesn't look like it's wearing good. I may take this and see if I can't have it resurface or something. If I can have it resurface, then we should be good. I should be able to just go ahead and put this in and take off. So I don't know. I'm gonna figure that out on the clutch. And I've got to get with the guy about tuning the ECU for this thing, and yeah, we should be ready to go in a couple days. Then I got to start dealing with the rental, which I'm dreading that thing for sure. But all right. On to the next part of it. A little glimpse of how stripped down we got her. So it's kind of dark in here still, but we got the AC stuff, all the suspensions out from under it, all the rear suspensions gone. Got my wheels, the 521s, got those guys off. I may end up selling those or something. I don't know exactly what I'm going to do on the wheels just yet. Me and Ronnie, we've talked about it. We may end up doing something. I'm not really sure just yet what I'll do on it. I may actually sell those and put me a clutch in this car, get an aftermarket clutch or something, and spend a little money there. We're actually going to, tomorrow, try to get this thing off of my lift, because this thing's starting to take up way too much space. That's better on the lighting for sure. Maybe, somewhat. But the whole, everything's going out of here. And there you go, maybe a little bit of adjustment. Everything's moved to there. Yeah, so got the fuel tanks there. So if you need any G35 parts for an 05 automatic, we've got quite a few parts for the G35 automatic. So if you're needing anything for that thing, we're a little heavy on parts for that. So we're probably gonna maybe possibly scrap some of it, just throw some stuff away. I don't really know what we'll do just yet. There's a lot of it. So tomorrow, I got some mounts coming in. I can't set my engine in my car until, once I get the mounts set in, or bolted on there, I had to go ahead and put new mounts. These are pretty good mounts, I think, and they probably would have worked just fine. But it's out, why not get mounts? I started to order solid mounts. I backed out of doing that. It was kind of up in the air. Do I want the vibration stuff that comes with solid mounts? I don't think so. I don't think I want to deal with that. Get this motor in, figure out what I'm gonna do on a clutch, get it running, driving, mobile. I may not change the clutch. I may just go ahead and put it in, run it. If the clutch doesn't do well, then pull it back out and do it again. It's no big deal. Transmission's not that bad on these things. I was really surprised how easy it actually was. And keep my wheels and just replace some tires. I don't know. I've got a system where I don't spend too much on one thing until I'm ready to. I've got some investments here and there, and I don't want to overextend. And once I get to a certain point, I know when to shut everything off, and the car just has to sit until there's nothing I can do with it, or there's no money to be made on it. I have 3 rentals, going to be kind of screwy for the next couple of months. I'm probably have to spend a lot there. I got a whole lot of other stuff going on too, besides just the rentals and the vehicles. As crazy as it sounds, I do. So we'll make a decision tomorrow. We're gonna come in, get started. We may haul some stuff. We may start on that rental tomorrow. I'm not really sure just yet what we're gonna do, but we'll see what happens. We'll see where we go. But again, today we took all the suspensions out. All the body's pretty much ready to go, minus we're gonna pull some, like maybe the windshield wiper motor, some of the stuff that I can use on this one down the road, or another 350Z or a G35. Some of the parts are interchangeable. We'll go ahead and pull some of that stuff off, put in storage totes and take it to my storage building. There's a couple things I'm gonna just keep. There's some things I'm gonna sell, like the automatic harness. I don't know that I'd ever want an automatic harness. The one time I don't, I'll need it, I promise. It happens that way for me. And then the heads for the Subaru's done. So I've got to do a head gasket set for the Subaru. And you get spread thin a little bit. So then I got to get a water pump and everything for the Subaru too. We'll see where it goes. Got a lot going on. I got to start getting stuff together here. So bear with us. It's pouring outside. It's supposed to rain next couple of days. If it rains tomorrow, we're definitely not going to go work on the whatchamacallit, the rental house. I don't think, because we got inside work we can do here and stay out of the rain. But at the same time, the rental's got to be done. We've got to do something there.